welcome back to my channel. My name is Betty. Today we're going to be making whole wheat bread. It's going to be a 1-pound loaf, and it's going to be in my Zojirushi Supreme bread maker. So let me get everything together and I'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Betty, and today we're going to be making a 1-pound loaf of whole wheat bread, and it's going to be in my bread maker. First ingredient I'm going to be putting in is 1 cup of water, which I have here. I'm going to check the temperature. It should usually be around 105 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's just a little bit under. It's actually at 99, so I'm going to actually, it's at, let's see, showing 100, so I'm going to leave it around 100. And that's going to go into the bread pan. Shut this off. I shut the thermometer off to save the battery. So it's going to be 1 cup of water, and that's going to go in first. And then the next thing that we're going to put in is 1 tablespoon of butter. Unsalted butter. So I have butter here that I let thaw out, so I'm going to be using that. And on this thing here, it's got like a guide, so I can kind of get pretty close to over. I can get to that 1 tablespoon mark here. About 1 tablespoon, a little bit more. Cut out the extra. Just take this, and I'm going to cut it up into small little chunks here, so that way it'll mix in well with the flour and everything else. And then the next thing that we're going to put in there is going to be 2 tablespoons of sugar. And that's just a regular table sugar. And that can go straight into the pan. Now we're going to put in 1 tablespoon of dry milk. So that's this dry milk, the Swiss Miss. I'm going to be using that today to go in here. And that kind of helps it to give it a nice fluffy texture in the bread. So I'm going to dump that in there. And the other thing, let's see, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I've got a little 1/2 teaspoon measure here. And I use this to kind of catch any extra that doesn't quite get into here. Dry milk, salt, butter, and then the next thing I'm going to put in is Vital wheat gluten. When you use whole wheat flour, it's kind of coarse. It has a little texture. In order to help the bread rise, Vital wheat gluten it gives it a little extra boost, so that way the bread will rise better. So this is the gluten here. So we're going to put in, it calls for 2 3/4 cups of flour. So I'm going to use 3 teaspoons. That's what they recommend using. So I'm going to use 3 teaspoons of Vital Wheat gluten. In here. So that's like 1 for each cup of flour is what's recommended. So that's what we're going to go with. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to put in is the flour. And the flour I store in here, and then I'm going to just put it in here, and I'm going to scoop it out. It's better than that to scoop the flour in. It's better to put it, kind of use a spoon or a container and put them in loosely so it doesn't overpack the cups too much. Otherwise, you may end up with more than a cup of flour. So just kind of scoop it, let it fall in there, but don't pack it in. If you pack it in, you got too much flour, and that's not good. And, oh, where's my knife? I'm going to grab a knife. I thought I grabbed a knife. I'm going to need to get a knife from over here. I can level off this flour. We're going to use this knife, sorry about that. And we're going to use that to just kind of level it off, just kind of go across. And that's it. I'm going to put that in here. And then we're going to do another one. And then just level that one off as well. And then the next one is going to be, let's see, I need a half. Just take this thing and go across. Okay, next thing I need is a 1/4 cup. I have that over here. I can dry that off a little. Okay. This is the last one. This is the 1/4 cup. Take the knife, go across, and we're good. Okay. Okay, and then the last thing I'm going to do is make a little indentation in the top of the flour. And we're going to put in the rapid rise yeast. That's what we're using today. Because this is going to be on the quick cycle. So it's only going to go for a couple hours, and then the bread will be ready. You can do a longer one, but then you got to use active dry yeast, and that can go for almost 4 hours. So I'm going to cut it down and cut it like in half, almost in half. So we're going to use 1½ teaspoons of rapid rise yeast. Or you can also use, they also call it quick rise yeast. So that's what we have in here. And we're doing 1½ teaspoons. And I'm going to make a little indentation in the top of the flour. And that's so that if you just add it to the water, the yeast will activate right away. And you don't want that. We want it to activate as it's blending everything together. So there's There's the 1 teaspoon. And then the next one is going to be the 1/2 teaspoon. And I keep this in my refrigerator. You can also keep it in the freezer, so that way it keeps it from going bad. I keep some of it in here. I keep it in a jar in here, and then I have more in there, and I also have some in the freezer. So that way you always have fresh yeast. Good idea. Okay. Get these out of the way. Those out of the way, and then I'm going to close this up. I didn't need the scale for this. Some recipes you need to weigh the ingredients, but not for this one. This is just a smaller loaf, so it's a recipe that I got from one of the other books for this brand of bread maker. They also make a 1 pound, and I used the recipe from the 1 pound. And it just kind of snaps into here. There's a couple little thick guides, and just kind of drop it in there and close it, and that's it. Actually, I just want to check and make sure there isn't anything underneath that's in there. Oh, it looks pretty good. So we're going to put that in there. Close it down. You can hear it click into place. And then close the lid. And then I'm going to plug it in. And then on here, I'm going to show you show you the screen so you can see what I'm clicking on. And I'm going to be doing the wheat quick. Let's see. So it's called Select Course over here. So you select the course, and it shows basic wheat. We're going to be doing the quick. And that's 2 hours and 18 minutes, so about 2 hours. And then the crust isn't automatic. I don't believe you get to. Well, actually, you can set the crust, but I'm going to leave it on. I'm going to do it on the medium. Yeah, we're going to do it on the medium. Because I don't want it too dark, because I don't want it to get too hard. I don't want it to do that. And then the next thing I do is just hit start. And what it's doing now, as you can see on the screen, it's in the preheat mode. So what it's doing is going to warm up all the ingredients so everything's at the right temperature, and then it'll start kneading. So when it gets to that point, I'll come back and I'll show you how it looks. So, see you in a little while. Bye. This is Betty, and I'm going to be showing you how the bread is kneading. You can hear the machine, but I'm going to show you on the inside what it looks like. So you can kind of see inside the pan there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to scrape the sides to kind of get everything to mix together. So I'll show you how that looks. It's actually pretty nice. This makes a loaf that's horizontal, kind of like what you buy in the store when you're making, when you buy a loaf of bread from your store. It's going to look like this, kind of like that. But the difference here, there's no preservatives, so it's all fresh. And what I'm going to do is stick my finger in here to kind of feel the texture. You want it to be kind of sticky, but not, it's kind of tacky, but not like real wet. So this is going to all mix together here. It looks like it's doing pretty good. I'm going to let this continue to run here. And then that's what it's going to do when it gets done kneading. Then it's going to go into the rise, and it's going to rise a couple of times before it bakes. But this is the pretty quick cycle. If you want to make a quick loaf of bread, this is the way to go. If you got more time to do it, then there's like 4 hours. There's a longer cycle, the basic cycle, which goes for almost 4 hours. But for what I'm doing today, I don't really need to do that. So, and then there's also a timer function on here too. Like, say, if you want to have homemade bread in the morning waiting for you, hot warm bread, you can set this program. Some of the programs, as long as they're not using perishable ingredients like eggs or something that's going to go bad, you can set that. There's a 13-hour timer all the way up to 13 hours, as you can set it ahead of time to have the bread waiting for you. And then when it gets done cooking, it'll stay warm on a warm setting for an hour. But it's really best when it's done cooking to take it out of the machine so it doesn't build up condensation in the pan. And you can see now here it's nice, forming a nice ball. That's what you want. And you know it's working the way it's supposed to. And then you can just leave it alone and let it do its thing, which is what I'm about to do. I'm going to close the lid and come back and check on it later on and make sure that everything is going well. You can see from here there's a window. You can't really tell, but you can see a little bit. You can see how it's working. So, but this is pretty good. It works really well. So I'm very happy with it. I've only had this a few months, and I thought this would be a good time to do a video and show you how it works. And we're going to try making this is my first 1 pound loaf in here. I've been making mostly 1.5 and 2 pounds, but for just me, a 1 pound is plenty. So this is it. I'll come back later on when it's done and show you how it turned out. See you later. Bread is done, and I'm going to show you how it turned out. It looks really good. This is keep in mind, this is a 1 pound. So I'm just going to shake this out here. Hopefully it looks good. It's going to look small, but that's what a 1 pound looks like. So it looks like it should. So it's going to be small. And as you can see, this because they have the little paddles down in the bottom of this pan. This is what the bottom looks like. It's got the paddles. That's what needs the dough. So it's going to have those in there, but that's not going to affect anything really. But this is what it looks like. I think it came out pretty good. Not bad for a home-baked bread. No preservatives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this cool. I need to cool for at least an hour. And then I'm going to slice into it, and I'll show you how it looks. So I'll be back. Thank you. This is the bread. It's sliced up. I use